Thank you. So another round of applause for our chief guest, please. So to quickly and also to try and catch up on time, I just want to invite Joseph to give a brief presentation, a highlight, because Joel here has listed a lot of acronyms. But maybe the most important part that we really need to understand is this DNS. We are talking DNS, Kenya DNS Forum, Africa. What is this DNS? What is this animal called DNS? So by a show of hand, how many of us have gone online today? Okay. So how many would be here if there was no password by now? If by now we had not provided a password, we would be waiting for the earliest break so that we go for good. So Joseph, please, over to you.
Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you from the physical attendees and those attending online. We cannot assume that everybody's time is the same. So my name is Joseph Marwa, the Senior Systems Administrator at KeNIC. And I'm technical, but I'm going to make the presentation as user-friendly as possible. So I'll request the tech team to just put up my presentation. Yes, so I'm here to just break down and elaborate on what exactly DNS is. So DNS, as Joel through the acronym to, is a domain name system. So the domain name system is basically the underlying infrastructure that the internet operates on. So how the DNS works similar to your phone. So let's the next slide, Landy. I go to the third one. And the next one. Yes. So the domain name system is an internet resource locator. What this means is the DNS basically works like your mobile phone. You cannot memorize all the phone numbers that you have saved on your phone. So you save them in a user-friendly way. You'll save me as Joseph, you'll save Grace or any other name so that you can easily recall and you don't need to memorize all the phone numbers on your phone. So that is how the internet works in that similar fashion, where you have what we call internet protocol numbers, IP addresses. So IP addresses is basically what the internet uses to communicate and locate whatever resource, be it a website, be it a mobile application you're using. IP addresses are the underlying model within which. So what a domain name system is basically a user-friendly name that is mapped onto an IP address on the internet. So every time you're on your mobile phone or you're on your computer, when you type in, let's say, www.ican.org, so what your computer browser does is that it then connects to the underlying DNS infrastructure that resolves to an IP address, and then that IP address is able to locate the resource or the service that you're trying to look for. Yes. So at the same time, we say that the DNS is a gateway to the internet, and DNS is so important because a crash in the DNS infrastructure implies that internet will be restricted. Internet access will be restricted, and as KeNIC, as a .ke DNS infrastructure provider, we have the infrastructure, the servers and the networking bits that basically assist the internet in Kenya to operate. But that does not mean that if we go down, you won't be able to access. We have what we call redundant sites and recursive servers, which are basically are operating through different service providers. So that ensures that there's redundancy in the infrastructure, so that even what we call the root zone or the root server, which KeNIC host goes down, the recursive name servers will still be on operation for some time. Yes. Next slide. Okay. This is just a small slide that shows how the internet ecosystem is structured, but I believe the ICANN team will elaborate more about it. But as you can see, there's so many components to the internet infrastructure. It is, as Bob said, there are the regulatory and policy bodies that do that. There's a technical layer where CCTLDs and GTLDs lie. Let me not continue throwing more acronyms without explaining. So we have what we call top-level domains. Top-level domains are also broken down into mainly generic top-level domains and country code top-level domains. There's some others that have come up like internationalized domain names, but the core, basically the generic top-level domains and country code top-level domains. So generic top-level domains, if you can go to the next slide. Yes, so generic top-level domains, the .coms, I've given a few examples here. And then we have country code top-level domains. So ICANN has mandated every country in the world to manage its own top-level domains. The same way Kenya, it's KeNIC. So those are the various country code top-level domains. And as KeNIC, we are a country code top-level domains. KeNIC, we're the country code top-level operator for Kenya. We have Rick in the room as well, the Rwanda. The Rwandese registry, and I think they'll have a chance to talk a little bit about that. All right, next slide. Okay, so as I said, this is basically how the DNS industry looks like. You have ICANN, you have registry operators, the GTLDs and CCTLDs. We have what you call registrars, and then based on the market, you also have resellers and then registrant. So registrants are the owners of the domain. So if your name is, say, Joseph, and you go register www.joseph.co.ke, so you are the owner of the domain. And as KeNIC, we operate on a 3R model. The next slide will just describe that. Yes. So as I said, we are KeNIC, we're the registry, and then we have the registrars who basically sell the domains on our behalf. So you cannot come to KeNIC and ask to register the domain. You have to do it through a registrar. And then we have the registrants who's the owner of the domain. There are some registries out there who just operate on a 2R model where the registry sells directly to the registrants, but at KeNIC, we're operating on the 3R model. This next slide. Yes, so just to break down a little bit, we have the top level domains as KeNIC. So these are some of the extensions we have under KeNIC. We have the .co.ke. This is for companies and corporates. We have the .me.ke, which is for personal use, individuals. You can register .me.ke. We have .go.ke for strictly government entities, and this is managed by the ICT authority. I think we have a representative from ICTA who will be in the next panel. We also have .or.ke. This is for non-government organizations or non-for-profits. We have .ac.ke, which is for academic institutions. These are colleges and universities. And KeNet, as Joel mentioned earlier, is the one that manages .ac.ke, the domains for us. We have the .ac.ke for lower learning institutions. We have the other two not so common, .mobi.ke and .ne.ke. So these are, from a tech perspective, we call them zones within the .ke namespace. But from a marketing perspective, you can call them, these are our products. Yes. Okay, next slide. Yes, so this is a marketing slide, yet I'm technical, but for the local, for the citizens of Kenya, we would encourage you to use .ke because of accessibility, affordability, availability. You protect your brand online, security, and also from a branding perspective, uniquely Kenyan. There's a slogan that we normally throw around Kenya, buy Kenya, build Kenya. So for the local people, local citizens, we'd encourage you to be on the .ke platform. But as Barack will say later, he has a very common term he normally says, all domains are born equal. So there's really no difference between a .com and a .ke. It's just about the local presence here. So as I finish up on the next slide, I just wanted to touch a few aspects about DNS security. Due to it being, DNS being a very critical internet infrastructure. So the best implementation that we've done is having multiple recovery sites. We implement what we call DNS security extensions. We have, of course, from a networking perspective, we have firewalls, we have passwords, and then we use VPNs, of course, monitoring tools, just to ensure that our infrastructure is solid and we are secure. Because if the infrastructure goes down, within a matter of days before the recursive servers pick up from the root server, the DNS can collapse. Okay. Next. Yes, this is a bit technical, but I will not dwell much into it. I can share the slides later because I understand that not everybody might be technical in the room. So, but this is just a quick highlight of some of the threats against DNS that we have. We have hardware, we have bots, we have ransomware, we have spywares, we have Trojan horses, viruses, worms, and credential stealers, basically. What there's some others, of course, which are not necessarily technical, but cybersecurity. That is, you can look for me later, I can explain, because in the interest of time, I do not want to delve much into the technical aspects of it. So that's it for me. Thank you for your time. And
thank you very much, Jose. I can concur and confirm that all domain names were